What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and we are talking about the fight between Danyelle Wolf and Taneisha Tennant. Wolf ends up winning this fight by a decision. A lot of people online are saying controversial. Dana White did address that in the actual contract award ceremony, I guess you could say, for the Contender Series, and said they felt she won the fight. The judges gave it to her. They give her a UFC contract. I mean, honestly, first round, I definitely thought Wolf won. Round two, clear for Tennant, in my opinion. Then round three, very close round. Yes, Tennant did outland her. I guess they're giving points for the guillotine attempt. She is trying to finish the fight. Granted, that guillotine was not fully locked in, really, ever. I know on the broadcast, Bisping was saying it was. I don't think the hands were fully grasped, and I don't think the choke was really threatening Taneisha Tennant all that much, besides holding her in position. But I feel that Danyelle Wolf should have probably not even went for that move. I think it was very risky. Luckily, she still gets the decision win and gets the UFC contract. But now, what do you do with Danyelle Wolf? I mean, she's 1-0 as a pro. She beats the 5-0 Taneisha Tennant by a razor-thin decision. Whether you want to call it controversial or not, it's a very close fight. That's a toss-up. So who does she go against in her UFC debut? Let's look at this women's featherweight ranking. It's a very small division. We may have to look down at bantamweight and assume they may end up bringing somebody up, or maybe they sign girls from elsewhere. If we look at this division right here, the actual rankings, we have Amanda Nunes number 1, Spencer 2, Anderson 3. She's not ready for any of those three names at all yet. Do you give her Zara dos Santos, who's 6-4, has a good amount of experience? I personally don't think it's a good move. You have Norma Dumont, who's 4-1, but that's still 4 fights, 1 loss. She's fighting Ashley Evans Smith. Maybe you give her the loser of Norma Dumont and Ashley Evans Smith, but Evans Smith has a good amount of experience, and if Ashley loses that fight, or whoever loses, I mean, I just feel like this girl is not really at the level just yet of UFC featherweight division, but I understand the signing. Best bet would probably be to give her a girl who's probably not even on the UFC roster yet. I mean, we can look at the bantamweight division just for fun and see if there's maybe a name that could possibly move up way towards the back. I mean, we look here, 3-1 Duda Santana. If we can click on her real quick, bring her Sherdog page up. Maybe we do this fight. I mean, she's fought once in the UFC, loses that fight. I feel like maybe it's a fair test if she's willing to move up. I mean, I don't know if she will be. Will she want to take a fight against a girl who has only one professional bout? It's definitely kind of a lose-lose situation. You lose to a girl who is just 1-0. You win. You beat a girl who was 1-0, but you still get the name Danyelle Wolf, who was a high-level boxer on the resume. So I kind of think it's a reasonable thing to do. Maybe we do that matchup. I mean, it's really all hypothetical at this point. We don't know what the UFC is going to do with Danyelle Wolf, but I do think that it makes sense that she got signed by the UFC. She's not going to get fights elsewhere. I think Bellator maybe would have picked her up, maybe PFL. So you have to bring her inside of the octagon. And I think, you know, potentially she could be good, similar to a Holly Holmes type style. Granted, she never had the professional boxing pedigree, but as an amateur, outstanding. Never went to the Olympics because she didn't have her weight class, but did fantastic, winning 3 titles in the United States USA Boxing National Games. I mean, that's pretty impressive in my opinion, and I think she just needs to keep developing, and I do think she has a bright future. Tennant is no joke. I'll be honest, Tennant is a skilled mixed martial artist, was 5-0 as a pro, and also was unbeaten as an amateur, and she loses here to Wolf making her debut. I think Tennant still has a lot of potential. And I hope that Tennant keeps progressing towards a possible UFC run, because, I mean, she could have been given the decision here. I don't think if she would have won, she would have got the contract. You know, it's just not, she doesn't have the name. She's not known, and Wolf is. But I think that Tennant has a lot of ability as well. And I think Taneisha Tennant needs to keep grinding. And I think she could find herself maybe in the next couple of years in the UFC, or maybe in Bellator, fighting high-level girls. Because I do think there's a lot of potential there. But at the end of the day, Danyelle Wolf wins. Whether you want to call it controversial or not, she wins the fight here. Now, we will pull up some more images from the fight that I have. Let's see. We have a couple decent ones. This is the guillotine here that she attempted. It was never locked in. It looks great. She's squeezing, but, you know, very early in jiu-jitsu, you know, they tell you if you don't have a submission, you should probably let go of it. I granted, in a fight, do you want to let go of it, give up bad position? There was a lot of time left. She's lucky there wasn't more time left and her arms weren't fully gassed out, because that could have been very dangerous. Thankfully, Tennant is not that good of a grappler herself in terms of ground and pound, was not really super effective, wasn't super heavy on top. She doesn't have a wrestling background. If Danyelle Wolf runs into a girl with a wrestling background, that's why, you know, you don't want to put her in there against girls too high level yet. I think she's going to have a lot of problems if she gets put on her back and passed. I mean, she's a white belt jiu-jitsu world champion. It's white belt versus somebody that's been doing martial arts a very long time and is accustomed to being on top, ground and pounding. It's a different game than just pure jiu-jitsu, as well as, yes, the striking. You saw her get cracked with big punches. This is not just boxing. This is MMA striking. The game is different. She's developing. She's very new. I do believe they got to give her very light touches. You see her there. I mean, she did get caught, her hands down. She got caught by some big shots by Taneisha Tennant. Lead hooks were really throwing off Danyelle Wolf. At one point, she's covering up. She didn't seem to know exactly how to respond to the MMA gloves. It's not boxing. The gloves are much, much smaller. That block that normally in boxing, you'll catch the shot. It's going to slip right through and hit you on the chin in MMA. And that's why I love MMA. It's the purest form of combat. And this is a great performance for Wolf, in my opinion, just having only one fight. Even though in the eyes of us probably all watching think, oh, she didn't do that well. In terms of one fight, this is her professional debut. She goes in there against a girl that's 5-0, goes the distance, gives this girl problems. Even if she would have lost, I would have still been impressed because she has no fights in MMA, or amateur or professional. And she did fairly well. I believe the contract signing makes sense, but I really think they're going to bring girls in to give her lighter touches. I mean, granted, she's not CM Punk, but almost how they brought in people for CM Punk, they should look for girls for Danyelle Wolf that are not elite level, because I don't believe she is ready for that upper echelon of women at the women's featherweight division just yet. But all right, guys, that is pretty much it for this full fight breakdown and reaction video here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll see you all in the next video.